I know you're gonna dig this.
This is Rhine McLin with the Funk Music Hall of Fame Exhibition Center's Funk Chronicles. Today, from location, we are with William Boots Vaughn. Welcome. How are you?
How you doing, Mr. Ryan?
I'm doing well. It is such an exciting experience to be able to be here with you, because you have such a legendary history in the funk era. Now, where did you go to high school?
Went to Roosevelt High School.
Okay, tell me about how did you get interested in music?
Well, a lot of guys was playing in the neighborhood, playing guitars. So I said, well, I'm going to try to make me one in high school, because they had started going wood shop. They was making guitars and carry on. So I said, well, I'm going to try to make me one. So I got it to play, but it wasn't all that great. So then Clarence Willis, like in Overnight Low, or used to be, and then they used to rehearse up in, I guess that's up there in Germany, up Gettysburg, and the guy that played the drums, he used to call me all the time and say, well, they ain't rehearsing today, come up here and practice, you can play on his guitar, because he leave his guitar there. So I'd go up there and we'd play all day on his guitar. I couldn't mess with his guitar, because I was left-handed, but I can't change the strings, so I just had to play it upside down, and so that's why I started playing a right-hand guitar upside down.
Yeah, that's an interesting. That's interesting to be able to note, to be able to see you do that when you're playing.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that did you learn music, or did you take music lessons, or did you just have experiences?
After a while, yeah, I did take some lessons from different people, like Bobby Warren and Kenny Wilson. Local guys that played professional guitar and music. I learned from them a lot of music.
So while you were in high school, I know that the Dayton area during that time had lots of talent shows. Did you participate in any of those talent
Roosevelt
shows?
Talent Show, Dunbar Talent Show, and that was the Blue Velvets.
That was the Blue Velvets. You were with the Blue Velvets at that time.
Yeah.
Did you win any talent shows?
Yeah, they won some. 5 singers, 5 guys singing and 3 in the band.
So, did you finish high school, or did you hear the beat of music and travel off somewhere else?
What happened, lunch break, Roosevelt High School, senior year, somebody come up to the Roosevelt High School, which was Jay Bush in the House Rocket. Well, we need a guitar player to go on the road. I said, oh, okay. So I left on lunch break. Get the bologna sandwich, you know what I mean? Let's just get to rolling. And so I left. I called my mom when I got to Boston, Massachusetts.
You called her after you got there from your extended lunch at school, right? Okay.
She couldn't say no then. I'm already gone. And so that's what I did. And so I ain't never looked back, really,
So how long did you stay in Boston?
Well, we were on tour. That was a movie band, because first, when we came back, we played at the Diamond Club.
Oh my!
You know, about six days a week and carry on. You remember Jay Bush, the House Rockers?
Oh yes.
Yeah, I played with them. They would play 6 nights a week there at the Diamond Club. And then he traveled in the Twist Club and all the nightclubs in Dayton on the east side. And then then they started traveling. They were same booking agency as the Ohio players.
Okay,
So
you were moving around.
Everywhere they went, we went. You know, we was either in front of them or in back of them, somewhere. You know, and so went to everywhere: Louisville, Hockenville, Rochester, New York, Buffalo, New York, all over the place.
So you were traveling most of the time.
Huh? Yeah.
You were traveling most of the time.
After I left on that lunch break and stuff, I've been around the world at least about 7 times, and I'm getting my sights on, you know, thinking about doing a lot more traveling, you know.
Well, you know, one of the things that you're known for, and which also excited the Funk Chronicles, was the fact that you played with Isaac Hayes.
Yeah.
So we want to hear the story of how you met Isaac Hayes and became a part of that band.
Okay, well, I lived in Dayton and came back home, and these guys in Oswas in Springfield, Ohio, they needed a guitar player. So I went up there and practiced with them. They got the job and they started playing everywhere. And so the manager of the Oswas, he knew Johnny Ross, which I'll show you the pictures later of that episode. And he told Isaac's limo driver that you should go over and hear this guitar player, because he was from Springfield too. But he lived in Georgia, Homer, Louisiana, not Homer, Louisiana. It was somewhere down there. He had kinfolks, and he said, "You might be interested in this guitar player." So he brought him over there, and he said, "Would you like to play with Mr. Hayes or Isaac Hayes?" I said, "Sure." You know, so he said, "Well, the band thought, I guess the band was thinking that he just wanted one of them all, you know." But he said, "Now we just need a guitar player." I said, "Uh-oh." So then after that, he said, "Well, I'm going back to Memphis, and I'm gonna talk to Mr. Hayes and try to get you a ticket and bring you in for audition to see if you can fit in or can do the job." I said, "Okay." So I thought, you know, it might be just a blow off, you know. So here come the tickets. So I go to airline. Then I flew me to Memphis, and they said, "Well, you hired." I said, "Uh-oh." Then so they put me in a motel with all the sheet music. That's when they spread all the sheet music out. You know, you turn the pages. So I was already familiar with all the music. So it was just the idea of making sure they were in the right place. So I said, "Okay." Looking at it, and I said, "All right." And where I thought it might be a discrepancy, you know, I checked the paper, you know, make sure. And am I actually going to play this part of that, looking at the whole score. So I couldn't actually read it, you know, because it was chord charts and notes and stuff I could hear. Then they gave me the albums too. And so I listened at it with the paper to make sure it was what I was reading. And I got finished with it.
So was that part of the audition?
Yeah, to learn it. And then they stayed gone about 2 weeks. I've been in this hotel. That he had already came back and said took me to. I said, "Yeah, what would you like to do?" I said, "I'd like to go to the music store." You know what I mean? He took me to the music store. He said, "Well, get whatever you want." I said, "Uh-oh." I said, okay, I would get something, How about this guitar? Yeah. Get the guitar and guitar string, strap, and everything versus one of the ones that I had. So I got the guitar, and so practice on it, getting used to that one. So then he said, well, okay, I'll give you plenty of time, and they setting up a studio of time to record. So he said, well, want you in the studio tonight. Okay, so I go in the studio, and so instead of playing that was a necessity to learn that music, and so then we had to just record something different. So we worked out Joy, Isaac Hayes' Joy, and so that was one of the first CDs that I done with her, and plus their music too. So Joy and their music, that was a whole bunch of music. We got it done, and then we stayed there. I think about till we finished that album.
So you did the recording in Memphis?
Yeah. We did it at Stax. That's before he bought his own studio and moved on the other side of town in Memphis. So a lot of people, his studio was state of the art too, really out of this world, And I couldn't see why they let it go, but they did.
What kind of person was Isaac Hayes to work for?
Beautiful person to work with. The only problem if you have work with Isaac is people that he hired to run you. They talking and he done told them one thing and they trying to act like they important. And that's the only problem you would have. What they thought. And so if you had any problem, you just figure out how to get around to him and talk to him about it, and then he'll straighten it out.
Like, how did you get paid? Like when you were spending all that time down in Memphis to get ready to play with them in the studio.
Well,
how did they pay you? Did they pay you by the week? Did they pay you by the check, or did they pay you?
They give you a check. They'll cut you a check. But the thing of it is, when I first went down there, you just eat your food and all your living quarters and stuff, and carry. And we stayed at Holiday Inn Medical Center, and we stayed there until we sent it to CD and carry on. You get your clothes clean and all of that kind of carrying on. If you needed anything else until they got to the checks, and then they got to the checks where you get if you when you go travel, it all depends how long you're gonna be gone, and then they give you itinerary, all the cities that you're going to, and let's say like it says, New York. Take for instance New York. So you go on the whole New York circuit. So you go on the theaters and around. You go on the Apollo Theater. You go on to.
You played the Apollo Theater?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
With Isaac Hayes?
Yeah. And that's where I met the guitar player that played with Pointer Sisters. That sucker. he could play a guitar. And then what we would do and it came to be that we there always around Christmas time. And so that was fun, cause being Christmas in New York, all the stuff to be going on there. And we was on the show with the Pointer Sisters. They was on that particular show with us.
So in this music career, did you take time to rear a family, or?
Well, I got married in Dallas, Texas, and
that's a little fur piece from Memphis, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean it was a long time. This is I've been back in Dayton about 10 years, and whew, but I got married in Dallas, Texas. I think it was a pretty good while, but maybe 20 years or 15 years ago. And got a divorce.
Oh.
I came home for a reason why I came home because I didn't uh, mean for it to happen, but my son got killed here. I came from home for that and never got back home.
You're good for that, aren't you?
Huh?
I said you're kind of good for leaving in the middle
Leaving
of
and disappearing.
disappear.
Well,
The kids call it ghosting.
ghosting.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what they call it, Isaac K. Ghost.
So
But I always wanted to go back, but it wasn't in the cards because I went out there with Slave.
is that how you got to Texas with Slave?
No, I went to Texas with. I went to Texas. What did I do? What was I doing in Texas? That's Oliver. He had this lady that she was a singer, Sandy Chapel. So he said she needed a guitar player, and we took two other guys with us to travel. We got out there, then Joker went straight to day job. I said, okay, you gonna do it like that, okay? So I said, well, if y'all gonna do that, I'm gonna get a day job too. Then Oliver, his family lived in Dayton too, so his mother was old and so he quit. I said, now I done packed up all my stuff, you know what I mean? Because you could imagine how much junk I got. And I'm going to try to live in Texas or work out of Texas. I said, well, they came home. The drummer took off and his brother, we got another drummer. Then Oliver had quit. And so I said, they doing a force all the way back home because they can't get along or personal problems that they got home with their wives and carry on. So I said, well, I guess they ain't out here to play for money. I said, well, finally got around and he said, well, man, everybody is pulling out going back to Dayton. I said, well, I talked to a friend of mine. She said, well, that was my wife. She said, well, you don't have to go. I said, well, if I don't have to go, I ain't going. I said, I came out here to make some money, and I'm going to stay out here until I make some money. So I worked for Delta Airlines and plus played music and recording with one of the lead singer for the Masqueraders, the one that made Traveling Man, and what was that song? The first song they made. I can't think of it right now. But so I did that for about 3 or 4 years. And I said, well, okay, I can go for that. I said I was gonna stay there. And then I had little problems. I'm not gonna get into that because that what I didn't ask for it. It just knocked on the door. Other than he got killed and pregnant girl in Dayton, Ohio. So I said, okay, I know how this is going end. So come home for child support. They geek my car. Okay. When they geek my car, and then they wouldn't give me no work. So geek your car, don't give you no work. So that all leads to, you can't, only way you can get out of here, leave the car. And whatever you was doing, you had to, I said, okay, well, I'm going to get my money. So I just start working again with different people, bands and stuff, and carry on, get myself straightened back out. And so I worked at the golf course, Mad Golf Course, and carry on, and places like that. And then I started with Slave, and then they kind of get around a little bit. So started rolling to different cities again. I said, okay, well, I get it far enough out here, I'm gonna stay out here, And
so you said that you've been around the world. You traveled and played. And now, who were you with when you were doing Europe and those places?
Some was Izzy, and some was with Slade, and the rest of it, I just went out myself.
Really?
Yeah, and then but until somebody stole my telephone book. So if I sit here right here and I say, well, man, they don't want to do nothing with me. You look up and I'll be at the airport and I'll be on the other side of the world. And then Brenda, now she loved to go. Uh, we would go. We'd go on cruises, go to friends of hers house and friends of mine. We'd go to St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, Paris, everywhere. This all over the country. You know, New York.
Was that entertainment or were you playing?
A lot of that was just going to see my friends that was in the music industry, and
So,
I would record with them, and like a Mike Webster, I did record him down here, and he's doing fine in California, and I'd go out. We go out to his house and I record on his gear. He put his gear.
so of all, you've had a long history of playing. What are 3 highlights of your musical career thus far?
Oh, let me see. All those pretty nice. Let me think.
No, Isaac Hayes.
I would say being in New York on Christmas around Christmas holidays, because you got everything. You don't have to. If you don't want to be on the bus, you can catch the subway and run all over the city, and I like to go to St. Thomas now. That's where the 12-string acoustic guitar player played. He lived in St. Thomas, so we'd go visit him. We would go visit him every year. You know what I mean? We'd go to the beach. We had a beach house, and we'd go to the beach house, and then we'd go to St. Thomas and a whole lot of different other places.
Boots, David Webb, President and CEO of the Funk Music Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center. Thank you for agreeing to come on our show so much,
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's go back to Stax Records.
Okay.
Did you get a chance to ever sit in and play with the Barcades? None of those guys at the Barcades down there?
No, the drummer was one to play with the Barcades, and the trumpet. That was Willie Hall.
Mm-hmm.
He was the drummer, and that trumpet player. I can't. It's right on that tip of my tongue. The trumpet player.
Play with the Barcades.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the old Barcades?
Old Barcades.
The one that got the people that got out of the
and they
airplane
worked with
crash.
Isaac, and then they left the Barcades and went with Isaac.
Okay. How'd you feel about that when that tragedy happened with them on the airplane?
Well, the tragedy happened to them. I don't think I was in Memphis at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I was even there yet. So, because he was with Isaac, the drummer and the trumpet player. I don't know if he. Let me see. I don't know if Willie Hall was with them when they went to. Because them the only two wasn't on the plane.
Okay.
So I don't know. They was in Memphis. With
the bass player didn't get on the plane. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I want to go back just for a minute, Mr. Webb. I want to go back to your playing with Isaac Hayes. And everybody knows when you think of Isaac Hayes, it's either by the time you get to Phoenix or Shaft. And I understand that you played on the Shaft album?
Nope.
No?
No, I had to play. Okay, what's happened is first, when I went to Memphis, they needed a guitar player because the guitar player that was on Shaft was in jail, in prison or whatever. So they needed a guitar player before they could go on the road, play their music, and do all their transaction business. Plus, you had what child support or whatever when they were suing him, and so
Suing who? Suing who?
The gentleman that was in the house.
suing Isaac.
Isaac. Okay.
And so by them suing him and the guitar player, we had to record all that stuff again.
Was this down in Memphis, right?
Yeah, to keep you off from just raking up take everything. Take all this stuff.
So did Isaac change his name or something?
No, you just recorded the music again.
Okay.
Because see, when you record the music again, it's like they did Shaft again. When you record again, the music again, there went, I would say, over 60 or 70% of your royalties. I don't care where you fit in the song, what song it is. You lose a whole lot, and by the tension going to the new shaft, that means that you probably ain't got too much coming.
Oh.
They might send you a check for $1 or something. So, man, believe it or not, but in other words, all your money's gone.
Okay. So let's go back to something. What years did you start with Isaac Hayes? From what year you started with him, if you can remember, and what year did you end with Isaac Hayes?
When I left with Isaac?
Yeah. No. When you started playing for Isaac, what year was that? You think?
I started I say around. This is 2001. I say around maybe. I was 19, so I'm 71 now.
So that's what 19 what?
19 years old.
1969.
Was
that'd be 67.
It's around
1967.
66,
Yeah.
67.
67 to what? The year you ended with him.
I never quit. You know what I mean?
Well, you can say the year he passed away.
In other words, yeah.
What year
he passed away? That's only been about 4 years now, ain't it? When he passed away.
It's been quite a bit.
Because last place I saw him was in Louisville. Because I went to Indianapolis and they was on the jazz show. But see, it was a group where, like, if they had my gear, usually you have my gear with me.
Right.
But the guy said, "Oh, there's that guy that have his amplifier in the car all the time."
Right,
so,
right.
So I'm saying, okay, I ain't gonna take my amplifier. I go there. Then the other guitar player didn't show up. So, we will put you up there and stuff, but we ain't got your gear. I said, "Oh Lord, here we go again." So then they went to, I guess they went up north, New York. Then we got together again in Louisville. They were playing down in Louisville. And then they was calling me, talking about he was sick, the guitar player. I said, "Okay, now what you want me to do?" He said, "Well, I gave him a smoker because he liked to smoke too. I gave him, how you work this thing?" And I was telling him on the phone how to work it and carry on.
But like the interesting thing I love about going back to Isaac Hayes, I think he passed away in 2008.
Okay.
Because I know you donated one of his funeral programs to the Funk Center.
Okay.
Yes, I remember that. I mean, the tremendous music that you play with Isaac is just tremendous, man. And here in Dayton, Ohio, people don't know you are a living legend, and no one really knows the qualifications and what you do.
Thank you.
And we're gonna do fast forward right now a little bit. And you were with Big J Bush and the House Rockers. Now, who are they?
Wow. Do you know Nelson Calloway?
I think so.
He played bass, and Blatso.
All right.
And Jay Bush, was the saxophone player, and Chuck Wade was the saxophone player. And you had Sweet Pea out of, and Richard were the drums, the two drummers that I worked with Jay Bush. And then I went with Isaac, and then another group. He had another group to do the Jay Bush thing, and so then they called me down to Memphis. Somebody done killed him and job up in somewhere. I don't know where they were.
And you know, the thing that's so interesting that when I was doing some research on you, that the Big J Bush and the House Rockers came up, but also it came up music that you played, Blush,
Yeah.
Brenda's Butter,
Yeah.
Click,
Yeah.
Guess What,
Yeah.
Interstate 75,
Yeah.
Let Me Try,
Yeah.
Mad Money,
Yeah.
Three Doors Down,
Right.
and Springfield Girls. Why did you? Tell me about Springfield Girls.
Springfield Girls. I used to live in Springfield. I moved up there from Dayton and lived with the bass player, Mike Webster.
Oh, okay.
And so my door was open for him if he's ever here in Dayton. And I lived with him, and we played with the Osmonds. And then when I went with Isaac, he would come down. He would come down to Memphis, him and Brenda, and bring me my car down there. He would bring my car down to Memphis, and I get to see Brenda, and he be down there too, you know.
So that's how you all call it, the Springfield Girls?
Yeah, and then he would drive it back, you know, and put it back here and drive his own, you know. And so Brenda, she's a traveler. She's a trooper. She drove. The only time she wasn't on concert with us is that she was still working.
Brenda who?
Whitney.
Whitney. All right. You've been referring to Brenda like we all knew who it was.
Yeah, I thought you knew Brenda.
Well, but you got.
Okay.
But everybody else don't know is Brenda.
Okay,
Whitney.
she was a trooper. She go everywhere.
Did Isaac ever come to Dayton with you playing with him?
Nope, I missed that. That was a trick thing. The girls, you know, Hot Butter Soul, the girl singers that
Yes.
sing the background. They getting ready to get off the plane in California. And I'm like this. Where's everybody going? You want to go with us? I said, where y'all going? We going to California, then we going to Dayton. I said, I ain't never been to California. I said, I'll be all right down in there, you know. Yeah, you be all right. Debbie, go with Debbie. Debbie watching. I said, okay. And so I gets off. And quite naturally, she went to her people's house, and I stayed with her. And a girl that worked with Isaac, she had to go home because she got wiped out or whatever. And they knew a bass player or something. He got us a gig in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So we goes over to Albuquerque, Mexico. Lands, Wawa pedal missing, plane ticket, luggage, girls' outfits, and this is a concert hall. This ain't no nightclub. This joker was huge. They put tablecloths around them, you know, as outfits and carry on. We did the concert, but my ticket to Dayton, because I had a ticket from California and it was punched for Dayton. So I done lost the ticket down. So we called on Isaac to get the ticket straightened out. Okay, so we called on Debbie said, know what he said? Well, he gonna punish us down. Well, y'all in California, so we're going to Dayton, and so we're gonna send y'all a ticket back to Memphis, because that's the only place they going. Then they going to Memphis, back to the studio. I said, who talking about somebody mad, didn't get to come home and stuff? I said, okay.
So Isaac never did come to Dayton.
Yeah, he came to Dayton.
But you weren't with him.
Right.
Okay.
When he came to Dayton, he was another guitar player. But I was still in the group. So, but they sent us on to Memphis because this was the last stop on that tour. Because I used to catch up with the bus. If Brenda wasn't going, the bus, if it's going north, it comes up 75.
And that's how you did the song Interstate 75?
Yeah, and I could chase the bus and pull the bus over and get on the bus, and she'd bring my car back and put it up or hide it or wherever, in Dayton.
I would like to say to you that your career has just been really fascinating. And one of the things that is easy to note, that you've really loved and enjoyed your career. You can tell, and that you kind of easy going with it. That whatever came along, that's about what you were going to be about.
Right.
Why do you think having the Funk Music Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center in Dayton, Ohio, is so important?
Well, it still stands. There's a whole lot of musicians in Dayton, Ohio, is not recognized properly. And I know it's because people don't have the knowledge to do it. They get people that instead of getting it right, they just fan it over and go back to the same old drawing board. Because it's important that these people is coming along because they have knowledge of how this industry actually goes. You get...
What's one of the biggest things that you've learned from your career, that if you had to do it all over again, this is the one thing that you would tell anybody that's in the business, that to say, this is what you need to know?
This learning, this is coming up. Okay, just, be serious about learning your craft or whatever you're doing. Run from the dope man and run from the liquor and watch your hood.
Okay.
Because a woman likes it, but she don't like to take a back seat to it. When you could bang on that joke all day and she'll put her hands on it. Or take your sticks. That's enough, stop it, something, before it's over, And things like that. And if you really like it, you just have to hold on to it, because it eventually come in handy somewhere, But it's hard to keep playing when you have that's why I leave all the time. When you got so many things attached to it. Because guitar don't have babies, Guitars don't fight and they don't argue. And music is music. It don't belong to nobody. You could write your name on it for years, but it belongs to everybody. And I go to rehearsal and I say, well, they arguing about a song. I said, man, the song is 90 cents to download now. Now all you have to do is learn the song or whatever. You can only, it doesn't belong to nobody. Once you give it to the kids, it's theirs then.
Well, let me ask you this last question. Okay. Where does William Boots Vaughn see his musical career now? What is your future?
Where's the boots coming from?
Well, tell me where the boots come from.
Is that what you were saying?
But I'll take that.
Okay, well.
Tell me about why they named you Boots. Why your nickname is Boots.
I had some cowboy boots. I wore cowboy boots and slid on the levee behind your house. You know what? You know where I was? I wasn't nothing but I say good. I actually lived behind you before.
You did?
Yeah. A lot of places I lived were the same place you did. I lived where you live now. I'm assuming you still live in the Dunbar area.
Yeah.
I live right about 2 houses up the alley from you.
Okay.
And I lived when you had the funeral home.
Mm-hmm.
I lived on Bank Street. My grandmother lived on Bank Street.
Okay.
And we walk up there, up that way, and carry on and stuff. I was either in the back or the backyard over in that park over there near your cemetery. I went to Edison School.
Okay.
I went to Grace A. Green. So Grace A. Green, you know that when you come out to where the racetrack is, I played there all the time and ended up messing around down that river.
Well, let me
The
ask
railroad
you.
tracks.
Let me ask you now. What's your future project? What you got a project going on now?
Huh?
You have a project going on now?
Yeah, I'm doing another CD. I just ain't jacketed, I ain't did the final packaging and all that stuff. Okay.
So when can we expect to hear it? Do you know the name of it?
I had it suitcases only. You know what I mean? Try to kind of get I'm not interested if we ain't gonna actually pack some suitcases and do some serious moving. You know what I mean? Because after a while, we at home, but we'll get older. You kind of get dizzy going around in circles and up and down the street. And you say, well, damn, I wish I could have seen more of the world or seen more things. You know what I mean? Instead of being a door open always for somebody to come here to enjoy themselves. I love to enjoy myself too. I like to travel and care, and that's why I travel so much.
Well, I'm going to tell you, this has been a pleasure. And I certainly have enjoyed talking to William Boots Vaughn. This is Rhine McLin with the Funk Music Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center, Funk Chronicles. Until the next time, keep it funky. Funky, funky, funky.